It is another moment for us on OGTV to bring to you the Profit Point Show. It is that show that talks about businesses, talks about ventures, and talks about the skill acquisition so that you can learn from all you will be saying on the program. My name is Charity James, and we have our two segments intact this morning, but we'll be starting with the skill acquisition segment, which is the sectorial segment. Join us after this break. Yeah, this is the skill acquisition segment of the Profit Point Show that we call sectorial segment. And on the segment, we'll be talking about a particular skill, and we'll be informing you about how to go about it, what you need to start, and the skills that you'll be needing when you're starting. And a guest is in the house this morning. He is engineer OLUSINA AGBAJE. He's a design engineer and someone who is into that field, who is able to tell will-be engineers who will be in the sector about what they need to know when they are coming in. So you're welcome to the program, Engineer AGBAJE.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me on the show this morning.
Okay, now when we are talking about designing, structural designing or a design engineer, what do we mean? I think this should be the first time I'll be hearing about that. What is their job? What is their role in engineering?
Yeah, thank you. When you see design engineers, as we all know that engineering field is a very wide field of professional. But when we want to narrow a structural engineering down, that means we are talking about the field of civil engineering. Okay. Even though we have so many options and areas of specialization in civil engineering. So, but in every field of engineering, we have design engineers therein. So, what design engineers does, they are the brain behind any engineering project or infrastructure you see. So, and that is where you plan your project, you design it, you look around for what can help you to achieve the aim of the project. So, in doing this, there is a way whereby you think. Your thinking faculty must be very, very sensitive.
It must be creative.
Exactly. So after you look around and see into the problems that is on ground, because every project or every design must actually provide a solution to engineering problems. So when doing this, you analyze the problem. When you analyze the problem, then you come about the methods whereby you can solve the problems. And at the end of the day, you must be able to give results. You test it, then you give results and review it back to back so that it can fit in and satisfy the aim of the project. So that's what design does.
Okay, so design engineers are different from structural engineers. Okay.
Structural, what I'm saying now is that we have to understand it very well. Okay. Engineering has different field of profession.
Yeah, we know.
Like myself, I'm a civil engineer.
Okay.
And in civil engineering, there are other options, many options. We have the geotechnics, we have the structural, we have the highway, we have the water engineering and environmental engineering. So in civil engineering, we have the structural engineering. And in structural engineering, that is why you have design engineers.
Okay.
And that has to do with design of structures. And talk about bridges, talk about hydraulic structure in dams, talk about your building, and so many.
Okay.
So that's
their job is to come out with the design, how it will go, how it will run,
exactly, how it will stand.
How it will stand.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that information. Now let's talk about how the skills that you must acquire before you want to become a design engineer at all. What are the things you yourself must have so that people will see that you are ready for this job?
Number one, you see, engineering, it has a lot of things you must put in place. That is why we have the university education.
Okay.
And very, very fundamental for you to acquire the university education so that you can have the rudiments, the very grand root information to become an engineer in the space of 5 years. That is where you'll be able to learn, you learn the strength of materials, you learn structural mechanics, you learn fluid mechanics and other informations that will help you when you're about to start practicing engineering. So, but it doesn't end there. After you are a graduate, after you graduate now, you will need to work with a registered, a qualified engineer for the space of 4 years. During these 4 years, you begin to learn. You are engineering pupillage. You begin to learn practically what you have been taught in class. So that's when you'll be exposed to whatever design you have done theoretically, whatever you have learned theoretically, you'll be able to marry them together so that you become a certified engineer. You see today, you talk about COREN. I don't know whether you know about COREN.
Yes, I do.
So COREN is the federal government agency that certified all engineers. And once you are certified, you are an authority on your own. You can design, you can do, you are an authority. When I say you are an authority on your own, you know what it means. So the skills you need is that you must be able to identify problems. When you identify the problems, you must be able to analyze them. When you analyze them, you come up with methods how you can bring them into play. When you do that, then you test if it will work or not. Then you review, and there it goes.
Okay, so are you saying during those 4 years, your first 5 years in school, then after then you go for another 4 years?
4 years practical based.
For practical.
Yes.
Are you saying it is basic that you must go to school before you can have this knowledge at all?
Exactly, because you see, engineering designs, they are not something you just, somebody will just sit down and just learn. There are parameters, there are basic knowledge that must be impacted in you in school before you can. You see, it's like the case of a medical doctor. How will you know about the drugs to prescribe for a patient or how to diagnose? The same thing applies to a field of engineering. Okay. You know, designs, it is the knowledge of the mathematics and scientific justification of knowledge that is actually engineering. Okay. So nobody knows mathematics or nobody knows what science is if you have not gone to school to learn the information about it. Okay,
now let's talk about factors. When you want to go into this design engineering, what are the factors you must consider, and how are these factors tenable when you are applying them?
Yeah, thank you. For example, let me just narrow it down to the structural engineering. When we are about to do our designs, you know, somebody can just come, I want to build a house, probably in Abeokuta. Another person, I want to build in Abuja. Another person, I want to build in Ilorin, for example. The factors in Ilorin is different from other factors in Lagos. We want to build the same house, but you will meet on site different soil properties, differs. Are you getting it? The parameters you will use to come about your design varies from location. For example, in Lagos, you see the soil is waterlogged. So compared to that of Abeokuta, it may be a rocky soil property. So in trying to design your structure, the geotechnical diagnosis, let me use that word, okay. That is the study of the soil properties. In Abeokuta now is different from that of Lagos. Yes. So that means the foundation that is going to carry your building here in Abeokuta is different from that of Lagos. So these are parameters you need to consider. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So that when after building, the building will not collapse. And when you are talking about structural design, we only design for the stability of the building or whatever structure. So that is you design the size of the iron that we normally see in the concrete. You design the concrete itself so that this will come about giving you a stable structure. So that's number one. Number two, your design must be economical. You are not just designing. You can over design, you can under design.
Okay.
You are trying to make your structure to be stable. At the same time, you must not overspend your client's money. There is a minimum
You should be
budget.
the accountant.
Exactly. You should be there. And at the end of the day, the aesthetics must be there. You are designing, number one, stability. Number two, economical. Number three, aesthetics. What do I mean by that? The building must be pleasing to the eye. It must be a point of interest to anybody that sees it, particularly to the client that has the project, the building. So it must be fine. Let me use a element. It must be fine. It must
be attractive.
Look good to anyone that is seeing it. So these are the main factors. But engineering factors that must be considered is one of what I've just mentioned earlier. So that's the parameters that must be put in place before you can have a very good design.
So invariably you are saying nobody should go outside school and learn these things because it will affect the job. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. You see, engineering is sweet. It's very sweet. There is a place for the engineers. The engineers are those that have gone to school to learn engineering, to study engineering for the space of 5 years in the university. After that, pupil it for the 4 years before you can write the professional exam to be certified by the NSC or the CORE. So we also have other cadres. We have the technologists, the people that goes to the polytechnic.
So what happened to those other, let me call them journeyman?
Yeah.
Those people who
the draftsman.
what happens to them? Who supervises?
It's the engineer that supervises them.
Okay.
Engineer supervises the project.
Okay.
Because engineer is the designer of the project. And he must be able to ascertain that the specifications are monitored and the project is delivered based on the specifications and the design. So you see, we complement each other. We can not bring the project to reality without the draftman and the technologist. We work hand in hand. Likewise, other engineering professions. So we work hand in hand. So, but the engineer is like the main supervisor, the main originator of the design, and the one responsible for whatever that comes out of the.
Okay, all of these questions is to create interest in some people who might want to come into your sector or use this trade as a means of income for themselves.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the steps.
Okay.
Steps in engineering designs.
Okay.
What are the steps? What are the things to follow? What are the things that must be in place if you want to design something good and lasting?
Thank you. If you want to design, like I've rightly said, you need information. There are people outside there, like the masons, that they will have worked for many years, like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. There's no doubt about it that they will have picked professional knowledge. If they work well with the engineers or the professional on field, you know, construction and most of the engineering works, particularly the environmental, like the civil engineering, that has to do with building, that has to do with something practical that you can see. People pick it. There are some people that are so intelligent. They pick the construction. They can tell you, I've been building this for like 30 years. I've been following one engineer for like 40 years. Sure, the person may be able to do it. But if you will believe with me that initially I said going to school, location is the basis. Then location varies Because engineering problems, they are not just garbage in, garbage out. The problem of today is particularly peculiar to today.
Okay.
And tomorrow, there will still be another problem.
You must keep informing yourself. And
keep informing yourself, upgrading, educating yourself. And that's what we do in our professional body.
Okay.
So, engineers will bring in our knowledge. There is what we call continuous professional development, whereby we share knowledge, experiences in whatever challenges or difficulties we meet while working. So all of us will dissect it together, we analyze it together, and bring about a very good solution. Not that you cannot acquire these skills. Of course, we have technical schools, and where we lecture, engineers lecture them, and practical-based knowledge for people that want to learn engineering. So it's useful for us. And in fact, it's let me say it's useful. But that does not negate the fact that if anyone has the opportunity or must go to school to be a full-fledged registered engineer. Because
without the schooling or the education,
yes,
you are not yet a professional.
You can't be a professional.
Okay, I get it.
Without going to school, you can't be a professional. You only be a draftsman with experience. Okay. Not that one will be fetching you money. If you are wise enough, you can work with professionals. You can work with engineers, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
But the professional angle, the certified angle
is not there.
All right, now let's talk about technical skills that design engineers must have.
Yes.
I know that aside being creative, you must have some things that you should be able to do by yourself.
Exactly.
What are the things?
Yes, you see, I think last month and last year, I was invited to Peter Akinla Foundation. Okay. Whereby I was able to see their departments, electrical departments, civil departments, and fabrications. People are there doing good, and you see they learn engineering, practical-based engineering, and what you need is your thinking faculty, because engineering is about you thinking. You must be able to, because you want to become a problem solver. Every engineer is a problem solver. So you see a problem, you analyze the problem, that what can I do, how can this be done? That is where your knowledge in school comes in. You apply those things to solve the problem. So even though you don't go to school and you have worked with a professional for quite a number of years and you are very open, you are okay, you can pick things. You can also use that at your own that little corner. Pick it and begin to work things out. For you to be able to fabricate a window, this burglar bars, doesn't take you, those things does not take you to going to school. Little things in engineering that as a draftman you can also use to put money in your pocket. Do you get it now? So for you to a carpentry work, to make a chair, a table, and all these things. Yes, these are normal things that you can use your knowledge to fetch yourself money.
So the way you are saying it is design engineering. Is it hard?
Not design engineering.
You are painting it to be hard.
No,
Can young ones come into it?
They can come into it, but I would advise that they seek for education. Because engineering is about mathematics and scientific knowledge, and all of us, we know that our day-to-day activities is about science. It's just a matter of thinking. If you can think, then you are good to go for it. So you can pick a career in engineering. You can learn engineering. You know, they're two different things entirely. For you to be a designer, you must have the basic knowledge. It is the knowledge that qualifies you to become a professional. If you don't go to school for it, does not mean that it will not fetch you money at your own little corner with what your brain can do. It's the only difference that there will be limitation. There will be limitation. You won't become a professional At the same time, you may not be able to justify some critical or high-level problems. So that's just the difference. If you have the ability to think, to analyze problems and bring about solution, I think you are fine.
All right, now, in what way is your profession now the entire body of all the engineers and those who have learned it, who didn't go to school for it?
Okay.
In what way are you bridging the gap? Are you working together? Are you telling them to go back to school? Because with what you're saying, we need more professionals in the society. And if those who have the experience, who know how to use their hands without certificates, are termed, let me call them technical skill, draftsman and all that. So how are you, what do you have a plan to bring them into the professional body, and what are the things they should do to join the professional body?
You see, one thing we should understand is, let me first say that in the engineering society, we have a very good space because they are also part of the engineering family. We have the engineers, we have the technologists, we have the draftsmen. They are in the family.
Okay. Already?
And we have space for them.
Okay.
It's just that you see there is greediness in what there's greediness. It doesn't mean that you that have not gone to school, somebody that have gone to school have actually gone to go and learn something.
Yeah. I understand.
So you should stay. We should learn to stay where we are. And if you know that you have the capacity and you want to progress, there is nothing bad in it. Go to school for it. But if you know that, and there are some people, let me tell you, there are some people that are technologists or draftsmen that are doing well, very well, very well. Some of them have their workshops in Abeokuta, all over. They have workshops, the very big workshops, more than that of the engineers. So it depends. So if you know that is where your field is, you are a draftsman, you are a technologist, stay there.
Okay.
There is a package for you there that you cannot even exhaust during your lifetime of practice. You can't. So we meet together annually in Abuja during the engineering annual general meeting.
So they are not segregated?
No, at all.
All right.
At all. So it's just a matter of, it's not today that we have been seeing people in any organization that you will enter through a point, a grade, and the person will say, I need to upgrade myself. And the person, before you know it, before the person leaves service, the person will have
that's true.
so that's what we should have, that kind of mindset. Not that I'm a draftman, so is it the engineer that will not be controlling me? The engineer must control you because he knows better.
Because they are the top at that level.
Yes, he knows better. He is the designer, he is the originator of these things. The rudiments, the knowledge is there. You just learn from it. You can even, if you are wise enough, you can even help you to catapult yourself up there and be at the same level with the engineer. It doesn't matter. Yes, it can happen.
Okay.
So I think we should create that kind of mindset in our people.
Okay, now let's go to the, I always ask about the business angle of it, because the essence of all this is to make income, be sustainable, be able to generate alongside with others, generate the GDP for the nation. Now, I want to ask you about how to start, if you're starting the business of it. Now you're a professional and you want to turn what you have learned to money, so that you can be able to use the money. So what are the things you must put in place if you're starting the business of engineering?
Yeah, thank you. Engineering, starting up an engineering firm is commonly and generally capital intensive. But doesn't Renault RCC started somewhere. So you must start from somewhere. For you used to be a design engineer, especially in the field of civil engineering, the structural engineering, I mean. So after you have acquired the necessary knowledge in school and practical based knowledge after your graduation, what you need is just, you need your laptop just your laptop, just your small office. It's the knowledge, your brain that is going to work.
Okay.
So you just sit down with your laptop. We have many softwares now. You know, gone as the days whereby engineers will begin to draw. After drawing, you begin to calculate one by one. So technology has advanced. We all know that softwares have been designed so that it will be able to manage your design process. Yeah, it has been made to be very simple, and within design that can take you like 1 month before can now take you maybe like 2-3 days now. So you just sit down with your laptop, bury the knowledge you have, your residual knowledge, then you begin to analyze your soil. After getting all the parameters, you have gone for site survey, you have seen the condition around the site, they have tested the soil for the bearing capacity, and so many other things have been put in place. Then you begin your design work on your laptop. We have many software designs now that can handle that for you. We have the Orion, we have the Star Pro, we have the Prota Structure, and the likes. And if you are good, you know how to use a spreadsheet, that is Excel package, very well. You can program it to also do the design for you. So these are, there are some people now, I'm sure I've heard it, I overheard it, that people that are not even engineers, they've gone to learn this software I'm talking about.
Okay.
Now they've gone to learn it.
That means technology is helping.
Exactly. So they're going to learn it, and they're also doing design. But the limitation that's going to be on that is that nobody is going to, because as engineers we have the current give us certificate, they give us seal and stamp. So any drawing that's going for approval with the government or that's going to withstand whatever justification, if it doesn't have that stamp or seal, it's not recognized.
Okay, that's the limitation.
Thank you, that's the limitation. So, but you can learn these things. If you stay with a consulting firm like mine, like 10, 15, 20 years, you know how to design. You get it now? You may know how to design. So, that is, you can pick up softwares and learn it. And
okay, aside this computer and all that, there's no other tool that you'll be using, especially when you go to field and you want to. The other time you said you need to know the soil too.
Yes.
So are there not equipment that a starter must have to know the kind of soil they're going to build on and all that?
These have to do with the geotechnics aspect of my own field of engineering, civil engineering. The geotechnics, that is the soil engineering.
Okay. So a design engineer does not necessarily need to know how to test the soil.
There are other professions. Okay. You see, engineering is wide.
I know. I just want to clarify.
You can't do everything. Okay. There are other engineers in that field. That's what they are handling. Okay. So you don't need to begin to stress yourself. If you want to, you want to do this, you want to do that, you just stress out yourself. So you don't need to do that again.
In the case of maximizing the money, or can't you do everything by yourself?
Hey, you can't. The truth is you cannot, unless you have an engineering firm and you have employed other engineers in your team.
But before you get to that stage, you will have gotten so
definitely, many. Definitely. So talking about, we must not lose focus on our business and oriented program. So talking about that, it's just a thing of working up to an engineering firm or to an engineer to learn these things. Okay. There are other things that needs people to do it. So people will always be engaged, will always be employed in the engineering firm for you to be able to have your pay and live fine.
So starting small, you just need your laptop and the knowledge from school.
Exactly.
So can we peg an amount to what you will be starting with? Do you necessarily need to have a particular amount, say 200,000, 300,000, if you're starting afresh?
I think I just talked about 100,000. I want to let me just say 100,000 benchmark. But
without the laptop.
Without the laptop, it depends. Laptop even depends.
Okay.
You know, laptop is something you can just work up on. But there are configurations that will be able to undo your design softwares and that. Maybe if you have like 200,000, you'll be fine. Then aside that, you may not even need to go extra mile of stressing yourself. Any engineer, if you know what you are doing, any engineers you meet up with or any firm, they see it in you that you have something to offer. You want to learn. You have to. You want to learn. You want to do. You're up and doing, and they always want to absorb you.
Okay.
That is it. They always want to absorb you because engineering is wide. Engineering needs people to work with. It's a teamwork. You can't do it alone. So, and there's no how you work in an engineering firm and you will not be fine. Let me just say that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Now, how do you get clients? Now, that means you must be up and doing every time.
Exactly.
So, how do you get your client and sustain them?
Yeah. You see, getting clients, one of the ethics in engineering is that we don't advertise ourselves.
Yes.
And you don't say, I'm the one that knows how to do it best. I'm the best design engineer. We don't do that. It's not ethical. Because every certified engineer is an authority on its own.
Okay.
So we only work to complement ourselves. I can do the design and ask another engineer to check it for me.
Okay.
There is no crime in that. We can work at it as a team to design a project. So that's how we work. So whether solely or as a team now, if you are on a project or on a design, the overall result is what is going to speak for you.
Okay.
You don't need to advertise yourself. Once a client or people pick interest in your work, that this structure has been standing for many years, no crack, no defect, no structural defect, no failure. Nobody is going to. It's your work that will. Engineering is practical. It's your work that will speak for you. So before you know it, this person will tell this person that I have an engineer that is very good, and you must be a professional of integrity. A professional of integrity. You must not say you want to use in specification. People falsify the author specifications, which is not good. It's not good. As a certified engineer, you must be able to follow specification because any deviation from it is going to affect whatever. So your work will definitely speak for you, and clients will begin to connect with clients to reach you. That is what
they call it referral.
I'm telling you, it's the work that will refer. You begin to network and connect with you once you know what you are doing and you do it with integrity.
Okay. Now let's talk about the technological aspect of engineering. The other time you mentioned some apps that are helping in developing. So how important is it for new engineers who are just coming on board to know these things? How helpful is it for them and for the profession?
Yeah. It's very important for our young engineers. Very, very important for our young engineers. And I want to advise them that when they are in school and they go for the SciWes, they go for the SciWes and the SWEP in the 200 level, they should have the mindset of learning the work. Learning the work, I will repeat it. Not to go and look for money, as it were. Today, youth, it's money. I'm looking for a place whereby they will pay me this and that. No! I remember when I was in doing my IT, I particularly went to meet the senior construction manager, the civil engineer, that, sir, please, I want to learn this work. I want to learn work, because it is not enough for you to have the theoretical knowledge in school. It's very, very important for you to devote yourself and subject yourself to the practical based engineering. If not, you may not go far if you don't know. To be able to be a good designer, you must have been to field work, engage in field works, practice here and there, look for so many projects they are doing around, ask questions, and use this to build up your design skills. So my advice for them is that they should learn. They should learn. Theoretical knowledge is not enough. If you want to go far, you want to make it, and you want to be a vast person, you must learn it practically. It's very, very important. Whether you like it or not, the money will come. If you have learned what you need to learn, and you know what you need to know in this field, the money will come. Whether you like it or not, it will come. So let them keep on learning practically. Let them learn and learn again. Thank you.
That is the basis. Learn and learn again. Yes. Now let's talk about coming into the profession now. The other time you said practically you must from the basis you must start from school.
Yes.
If you want to become a professional engineer.
Yes.
Now, when should these people go into engineer? When should they start thinking about it? For instance, now, is it from primary school or from secondary school? And some children, I know that some children must have exhibited some kind of skill when they're at home. When they were little, they'll start checking up some equipment at home, some gadgets at home. Are those kids too, are they supposed to go into engineering and all that? So tell us, when should a child begin to think about going into the engineering sector, and how should they start? What are the things they must start with?
Okay, thank you. You see, engineering, you see, there's a way the academic curriculum is designed. There's a way it's designed. So we have the primary education, we have the junior secondary school, the senior secondary school, and it's from the shift from the junior to the senior secondary is when you begin to know where you are going in life, whether you are going to go to the commercial class, the science class, or the arts class. So you cannot say you want to study engineering and you find yourself in the commercial class or the arts class. Definitely you must scale through your junior secondary school to make the points or pass the subjects that is needed to help you to study in the secondary school. So it's from the secondary school. Definitely parents can help their children, teachers can help their students in doing this. So once you know that you have a very good knowledge of mathematics, in the junior secondary school, good knowledge of basic science, computer science, and the likes. During my time it was introductory technology and integrated science and the likes. So, but I think now is basic science and the likes. So you must be able to qualify and study science at the senior secondary school level. So at that point, you make sure your mathematics is very good. You make sure you're also doing well in your further mathematics and physics. Even though there are 5, I think, core science subjects that you must pass. That is physics, chemistry, biology, English, mathematics. So the 5 subjects you must have credits in these 5 subjects. And
so geography is not really
you know, in secondary school, that is in engineering. Okay. In engineering, you will study geography, but it may not be mandatory. So physics
is not mandatory in secondary school.
No. In the you will study geography in senior secondary school.
Okay.
What I'm saying is your physics, your mathematics, these are very, very good subjects for you to study engineering in institutions. So then you pick any engineering, whatever engineering. You know, there are engineering, computer engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, agric engineering. So mine is civil. Even in civil now, we are talking about area of specializations. a structure. Don't forget the highway, these roads, the dams, the aeroplane runways, the train railways. So it's the work of the civil engineers. It's just that you go and specialize. You need to specialize on one. So that's just the difference. So if not that, so a student must pick interest in these subjects that we have earlier said, so that they will be able to find it very easy. It's not just a matter of I like engineering. You must give it what it takes. And the requirement, you must be able to meet up with it. Even in the university, in the first, second years, if you don't meet up with some particular subjects, grades in some subjects, you may not be able to advance to the 300 level or so. You have to find another department. So because mathematics is about engineering is about mathematics and knowledge of science. If not, you will not be able to engage in critical thinking to provide solutions.
It's not a matter of talent.
No, it's not a matter of talent.
Okay.
Your thinking faculty must be seriously sensitive, so that you will be able to. Engineering is about solving problems,
Okay.
and there is the problem solving what's it called, ability that will fetch you money.
All right, as we round off now, your word of advice to those who want to come into your sector, what should they equip themselves with and how should they behave?
I want to advise them that they should pick interest in engineering. Engineering is good, it's fine. Engineering rules the world. And everything you can see around you is about engineering. And it sharpens your brain. It makes you look good. It makes you be at par with whatever that is happening. It puts you on a pedestal that no one can talk you down on, because
you're professional.
So definitely, and at the end of it all, it brings money to your pocket to feed yourself and your family, and you'll be fine. So that is it. Pick interest in engineering, pick interest in design. Design is about impulse planning. It sharpens your brain and makes you who you want to be. So in engineering.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer OLUSINA AGBAJE. He's a civil engineer, but really he does design engineering, and one of those things that he does is he also manages how your design construction too will go. Thank you so much for coming on the program, and thank you for availing your time. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you. Now we want to go on the program for this week, the Profit Point Show. But before we leave you, don't forget that you are free to join us on the program for advert placement, or sponsorship. The number to call to get through to this program is 0803-396-0423. The number again is 0803-396-0423. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Profit Point Show. My name remains Charity James, and until next time when we come your way, we say have a very profiting day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Start your mornings right with an exciting blend of information and inspiration. Join us for New Dawn, your go-to early morning magazine program that will kickstart your day.
Thank you so much for joining us once again on the Roundtable on OGTV, the People's Telly. I want to be Joseph.
Welcome to our program, Sports Executive. Sports Executive is that program where we focus on sports administrators.
We're glad to have you join us on another edition of Hot Seats right here on Ogun State Television. I am Moses Ojewumi.
Hello there, it is Kaira Talk once again on Ogun State Television. My name is Lara Emmanuel.